What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sundown Audio unofficial YouTube channel. Alright guys, this is another episode of Tech Time Thursday here on the Sundown Audio unofficial YouTube channel. My name's Derek, and today we're doing another test of some cat banks. Now, if you haven't seen it, go look at our old video where we tested out some cat banks, and we basically just try to see how much power can you get out of a single bank of caps. So we had some excess power caps. Matt Carvick went full throttle, brought in some different model caps. I don't remember the name of them, but we basically just threw them on the test bench, wired that single cap bank up to one of our amplifiers, and using nothing more than that cap bank, power on that amplifier, we ran it on our SMD amp dyno. I'm doing the same thing today. Today, I got the bigger SCV 7500 wired up here because we're really going to put a beating on these cap banks. So I've got our trusty old excess power cap banks. Basically using these as our baseline, our sample. We've been using these cap banks forever. They work great. Everybody out there's used them. They know how good they are. So those are going to be our sample. This isn't really a comparison of who's better. We're just going to say we know these work. So I'm going to use these on our baseline, show what kind of power you can get out of a proven bank of Supercaps. And then we've got these banks that we're going to test as well. Now I'm going to explain what's going on with these. They might look a little ugly or whatever. They're just kind of blanked out right now. So essentially, these are prototype Supercaps from Limitless Lithium. So Limitless is coming out with their own brand of Supercaps. They don't have them branded with their logos on them yet. I'll throw in a picture here. So when they get them branded, that's what they're going to look like. But for right now, these are just some prototype cap banks that are going to be coming to you from Limitless. They sent these to me to test out, so I've got some hooked up. All the hardware you see on them, all that came with the banks. I'm guessing all that's going to come with the banks when everything's finalized, everything's said and done. So I've got these set up in 5-cell banks, because to me, for most of your daily guys, 5-cell banks are what's optimum. So we got the 2.7 volt excess powers. I've got a set of 2.7 volt prototypes here from Limitless, and I have a set of 2.85 volt prototypes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take each one of these banks one at a time, wire them up to my SCV 7500. I got my excess power Intel supply charger sitting here. I'm gonna use that to top off all the power, get them charged up. We're gonna turn our chargers off, so it'll be nothing but the cap banks powering this amplifier as we run it on the amp dyno. I've got all our gauges sitting here. We're gonna be reading real-time current draw, real-time voltage. I'm gonna do as much as I can to give y'all as much data as possible to make an intelligent decision on what you think of these caps. So give me just a second, get this thing ready to go. We're gonna start with the excess power Supercaps. We're gonna do some amp dyno testing here. All right guys, we're back. Real quick, shout out to Excess Power, all the guys over there. They've provided all the stuff that we have in here, powering our test bench. We've got our banks of D1400 14 volt batteries under here. We've got our batteries, our Supercap cells, we got them under here. They stay mounted in there all the time to do all the power for all the testing we do here on the test bench. We've got our Intel supplies, we got a couple of them that stay mounted. They're mounted in here in the bench, the controllers are up here, they stay in there all the time. Now I had to pull in an external charger because I can't really get to the ones under there, and I didn't want to mess with having the wires from our test bench hooked up to the caps so there could be any funny business. So I've got an external charger I brought in, it's just sitting here. Here's our wires coming off of it, make sure y'all can see, nothing, no funny business. It's hooked straight to the cap bank. None of our test bench wires are touching anything here. They're all shoved over there at the side. So I am using 2 runs of 1/0. This is our big SCV 7500 amplifier. I've got hooked up here. I've already got all my settings set up on the amp dyno, got it ready to run. So I want to say I did set up 2 runs of 1/0. This is our Sundown Audio 1/0 wire. We've got all our terminals. Big shout out to Jim from Jim's Machine Works. He provided all of our terminals that you'll see us using here on the channel. So 2 runs coming off this. I didn't do 3 because 3 just got a little bulky. So I got 2 runs, 2 powers, 2 grounds coming straight off the cap bank, hooked up in there. I'll let you see everything, how this is done. And got our current clamp. So I'm gonna slip my current clamp here around some wire, make sure it's on good and tight. Yep, current is closed, clamp is closed. We got our voltage gauge. I'm gonna set them here right next to each other so I can video them during this run. Just make sure our head unit is set up, ready to go. Now, go and show you what our voltage is sitting at. So amp dyno, again, the amplifier is already set up and tuned in. Now I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna go uncertified because uncertified does a little more current draw than what certified does, and dynamic. Uncertified does the most, pulls the most power. We're gonna go to 1 ohm. So this is gonna be typical of what this amplifier would do in a daily setup. This is how you would wire it in your car. Obviously the difference is this is resistive, not on subwoofers or reactive. I don't want to get into that debate right here, but here we go. Uncertified, so it's going to run it right up to clipping, 1 ohm, exactly what this amplifier is rated for. The amp dyno is running. One thing to note, I didn't want to have a bunch of extra wires plugged into my cap bank, so the powers for our amp dyno, that power wire is still plugged in back here on our test bench. So don't worry about the voltage here. That's going to read our test bench voltage. We're going to stay constant. We're going to watch the voltage right here, which you can see is all clamped around this and plugged right in this. So you're going to see this in real time, the exact voltage this amplifier drops to, the exact current it draws, and then we'll come over here and we'll check out the amp dyno, see what kind of power we got out of it. So that's it. We're going to turn our charger off. As y'all see, there it goes to off. And this is what we're sitting at, and we're going to go ahead and start our head unit, start running this amp dyno. And hold on, I do this all the time. Forgot to hook up my remote wire. So here we go. Remote wire is on. Yep, amplifier is verified on. Sorry about that, guys. Reset our track real quick. Unpause. Let's try this again. There we go. Now we got some current drawing. Oh, looked like I saw a flash right down to 8 volts. Our amplifier is still on. And power-wise, we got 5,948 watts. So I'm going to cut this charger on, give it a second to charge back up, and we're going to do this run one more time. So I'm going to do 2 samples, and we can check out the power and average them out from there. So give me a second to get this charged up. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. I've got the dyno reset. We've got the charger topping off right now. Looks like we're sitting about 14.36, and it's slowing down. It's barely doing the last little creep. So you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and turn that off, and we're gonna run it. Amp dyno is set up. So let you see it's verified and zeroed out. Start our track, and here we go. All right, so we got it up in the barely touched the 8 volt range and up in the 650 amps. So let's see what we got over here. 5,933 watts. So really similar. Last time was 5,948. This time 5,933. Amps still on, and I'll see where we're chilling right now, right about 9.0 volts. So that's it. 2 runs back to back on the excess power Supercap banks. Both of them near identical runs on the amp dyno. Let me stop this again. Cut. I will get these swapped out. We're gonna get the 2.7 volt bank of these Limitless prototypes wired up. We're gonna give them a run. Be right back. All right, guys, got everything swapped over. I've got my bank of Limitless prototypes here. Now, I'll tell you what I know about them, and things might change when they go into full production, but these are 2.7 volt cells rated 3,000 farad each. Now, if you're not familiar, when you wire banks like this in series, so I've got a bank of 5 in series, you essentially take that 3,000 farad and divide by your number of cells, and it gives you a 600 farad bank. Just a little information there, but yeah, as far as I'm aware right now, 2.7 volts, 3,000 farad. We've got them wired up in banks of 5. My charger is hit full, so we're going to turn our charger off. See, it's off. Everything is wired up the same exact way. None of my test bench wires are touching. 2 runs of ground, 2 runs of power. We got our power clamp, current clamp. We've got our voltage. Everything identical. We're gonna make sure we turn our amplifier on this time. We've got a blue light. We got the amp dyno started, zeroed out, uncertified at 1 ohm run, just like before. Let's start our head unit, and here we go. All right, looks like I only saw about 580 or so. Oh, maybe more. There's our power. 6,151 watts on the amp dyno. So get our head unit paused. All right, I'm gonna cut it back for a second, get our charger kicked on, get these top back off. We're gonna do another run, see how they hold up the second time. And we're back. Our charger's topped off. Head unit's reset. Our amp dyno is reset. Show you it's zeroed out right there. Our charger, it is full. We're gonna turn that off. So you can see it is off. Amplifier, let me plug my remote in there. Amplifier's on. We can see our voltage. Starting our head unit. Here we go. Test number 2 for the Limitless Supercaps, 2.7 volts. All right, I saw about a 9.2 volt drop there. Oh, and this time, 5,887 watts on the amp dyno. And so we're chilling about 10.3 right now. Get my head unit paused. So that's that was a little difference, dropping from 6,151 to 5,887. I almost feel like we should give that another try. What do you think? Should we give it a third try? See where the consistency stays? I think I should. So hang tight. We're gonna put the charger back on it, top it off. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. Our charger's topped off. I've given them a few extra minutes to kind of rest this time. Let me note right here, these were brand new cells when they were sent to me. I got them, pulled them out of the package. They had absolutely 0 power in them, 0 volts. They read nothing. I charged them up myself, and I also want to make sure I note, not only did I charge these banks up, I charged the whole bank, took them apart, made sure to balance them. I know there was balancing talk on Facebook. I talked about how I personally hardly ever balance my cap banks. I don't think it's a big deal. But just for the sake of this test, I'm going to note I did charge these, tear them down, check them cell by cell, balanced them cell by cell all together, put them back together, topped them off again, made sure they were all balanced properly. So them being new caps, I've given them a few minutes extra this time just to make sure we'll say they're conditioned properly. But that's it. Our charger is topped off. We're reading full. So again, I'm gonna show you that's gonna cut off. Our amp dyno has been reset. Show you there, it's been zeroed out, nothing on the screen. So here we go. I'm gonna start our amp, get our remote wire plugged in, head unit turning on, and we can watch the numbers. All right, looked about similar on the current draw, around 580 amps. I did see, I'm pretty sure I saw as low as 9.2 volts there. What did we get power-wise? There we go, 6,025 watts on the amp dyno. So that's 3 tests, not that bad, a little bit of difference. So that second test, it dropped, I don't know, in the neighborhood about 270 watts or so, roughly. So to me, it seemed a little off, but you think percentage-wise, that's not that bad. Third test, come right back. Maybe it was a fluke. I don't know. Either way, that's very low percentage. I'll do the math later and maybe roll it in here. But let me know, what do y'all think? Pulling 6,000 watts out of this bank of Supercaps, is that pretty good? I think it's doing pretty good. So that's it. I'm gonna get this disconnected. We're gonna grab the 2.85s, put them on, see what kind of power they can do. All right, guys, we're back. I've got the different bank hooked up. Now these are the 2.85 volt cells, and they are rated 3,400 farad. Now these are just prototypes. These are just preliminary ratings that I've been told. If things change in the future for the actual production models, don't shoot the messenger here. Just giving you a little preliminary information. But we got these things set up. My charger is topped off. Everything's ready to go again. I'll go ahead and show you. Our amp dyno has been zeroed out, ready to do a whole new run. Got our things here. My head unit's been reset. Our charger is full. So we're gonna kick it off. It's off. Plug in my amplifier remote back here. Amplifier's on. Everything is ready to run. Here we go. Let's get in a good position to see these. And it's running. Oh yeah, see 9 volts and well over 600 amps of current draw. What do you think it did? 5,669 watts. So there's our bounce back voltage, chilling about 9.8. So that's it. Let me cut the charger on. I got these hooked up. I actually let them sit for a few minutes. They probably sat for a good 5 or so minutes on the charger, resting there. Make sure they had a good deep charge into them. But yeah, let me kick this charger back on. I'm gonna give them a little bit of time to get up the voltage, rest. We'll be back to do a couple more runs. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We're back. Our charger's topped off. Let me throw it in here again, guys. Remember, these are fresh caps. They were brand new. When I got them, they had 0 voltage, no power in them. I had to charge them up fresh. I charged them up. I did break them down, balanced all the cells, put them back together, made sure they were all good to go. They have not had any cycles on them, other than just a little bit of voltage fluctuation up the top. There's been no cycles, no drop down, charge back up. So these are the first cycles they're getting. You're seeing these fresh, just as I am, just as any new user would get some caps, wire them up, throw them in their car and start using them. One other thing I'm gonna add, I don't think I mentioned it, the voltage I'm using is just a standard voltage. My tele supply is on 12 volt mode, so it's charging up around 14.4. The same typical voltage you're gonna see in your car if you just got a typical daily ride and you buy these cells and you try and put them in your car. This is the exact same way you're gonna use them. This is the kind of power you're gonna see on there. Now obviously in a car, you might have a battery, you're gonna have an alternator. So we're kind of putting them through the torture test where there's no extra power. We're just seeing what kind of power can this cell by itself add to your setup. So far, I think they're doing pretty good. These things are charged. And go and run you through the whole setup again. Our amp dyno's been reset. We're zeroed out, ready to do another run. We got our meters hooked up. So you can see no external wires touching in here. We just got the charger to the banks, 2 runs of our Sundown Audio 1-aught through our Jim's Machine Works terminal straight into our SCV 7500 amplifier. So we're gonna cut our excess power charger off. It is off. Remote wire back on. We got a blue light. Our amplifier's on. Head unit's been reset. We're starting our track. Amp dyno's gonna kick in. Let's get a good view here of our meters. Oh yeah, I definitely saw about 9.0 volts, well into the 600, I think around 642 amps. So what kind of power did we get this time? There we go. 5,790 watts. Last run was 5,669, so we got, let's see, about 121 more watts out of it this time. Voltage is bounced back. We're chilling about 9.7-ish. So that's 2 runs in. The last set of cells, we did 3 runs. I'm gonna go and get these charged up. We're gonna do a 3rd run on these. And then we might try something extra special. But for now, let me cut again here, get these charged up. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back already. Set up for this 3rd round. Go ahead and show you. Amp dyno zeroed out, ready for another run. Amp cut on, meter set up. We're gonna turn that off. There we go, charger is off. No extra wires hooked up. Head unit reset. We're starting that so our amp dyno can run. Get us our good view. Here we go, 3rd run. So about 640-ish amps, right there down in the low 9-volt range. 3rd run, 5,881 watts. So compare that. I'm keeping little notes here on my phone. So 1st run was 5,669. 2nd run was 5,790. 3rd run, 5,881. So it's actually getting better. Let me type this in here. It's actually getting better as we're going. So right now, see if I can get all this. I don't know, maybe I can turn my phone and show it up better. Maybe not. It's all right, guys. So there you go. Try and get all this on the screen for you. There's our numbers, all listed out. The 2 tests from the excess power caps, 3 tests from each of the Limitless 2.7s and 2.85s. So, clear this back out because we're gonna do at least 1 more good test. We're gonna have to kick some chargers on here. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to cut the chargers on, but this time we're gonna up the voltage a little bit. So we're past the typical test where if you bought these, you ran the 5-cell banks, you installed them in your car, you run it at the normal voltage. We're past those tests. You've seen what they'll do. You've seen the kind of power they produce. So one of the things that makes the 2.85s different than the 2.7s obviously is the voltage. The 2.85s can be ran at a higher voltage safely. So we haven't done that. We've kept all these at similar daily 14.4 voltages. This time, we're gonna pump it up. We're gonna kick these 2.85s up a little bit. So if you're running for some reason a little bit higher voltage than normal, you got an adjustable regulator alternator, or maybe you just got one of those cold alternators that charges really high, we're gonna turn it up to what I personally think is a safe level for them. Now, you don't have to listen to nothing I say. Don't try this at home. But personally, I've had great luck overcharging caps about 10%. So if you got something like a 2.7 volt cell, you can charge it 10% over or an extra 0.27 volts, or just round that up to 3 volts. 2.7 plus the 0.27 gives you 2.97. We're just gonna round that at 3 volts even. So that's why I'm comfortable running banks like the 2.7s in 5 cells at higher than their rated 13.5 volts. I will run banks like that up to 15 volts. So judging by that, these 2.85 cells should be good up to about 15.6 volts with no issues at all. I've done this plenty of time with other cells. It's always worked out great for me, so we're gonna try that here. We're gonna take these 2.85s, bump them up to 15.6 volts, hit them, see what kind of extra power we can get out of them. Let me get these things charged up. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Be back in a split second. All right, we're back already. Of course, it's been a couple minutes for me, but it's been super fast for y'all. Actually, it hasn't probably even been a couple minutes. Those chargers charge those cat bank up super fast. But we're ready to go still. Amp dyno's zeroed out. Our amplifier blue light is on. Our voltage is sitting down a little bit. What I might have to do, because there's a little bouncing act I'm trying to do with chargers on off real quick. My charger is kicked in, so basically I'm gonna give it a second to shoot some voltage back up. Yep, that didn't take long at all. Voltage is up, head unit is starting. You see it shot it up super fast on me. So our head unit's going, amp dyno's starting to kick in, starting from that 15.6 voltage. Let's see what happens this time. And you want to take a guess real quick? Starting a little higher voltage using those 2.85 volt caps, higher voltage capacity. Here we go. 6,862 watts. So quite a difference there, given that little bit extra juice that those 2.85s can hold. Keep in mind, that's the only difference really. You get a little higher from the 3,000 farad with the 2.7 volts to the 3,400 farad, but getting that extra voltage, that's a lot of power sitting there on the table, even though it seems like just a few more like tenths of a volts. Well, I guess we go from 14.4 to 15.6, that extra 1.2 volt, it's worth a lot of power. We're gonna charge this back up. We're gonna do another test. So here we go. This will probably be my final test. Make sure y'all see amp dyno zeroed out. Our amplifier's on. Our charger is kicking in and voltage is shooting up super fast. So I've got the head unit running. Here we are, 15.6 kicked in just in time. Now on this test, I'm going to leave our charger running, give us a little bit of extra supply there. We're gonna see what happens. That's it. That run is over with. So this was cat bank plus our charger still going over there. See if it gave us a little bit of extra power. There we are. 6,947 watts. So that little bit of extra juice coming in from our charger back there, it helped out. So last run with no charger on was 6,862. This run 6,947, so not quite 100 extra watts. But that's it. We're gonna end this here. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are these some caps you would be interested in? Sorry, I don't know a price on them right now. Give it a little while. I also don't know an ETA. Two biggest thing everybody asks, how much does it cost and when is it gonna be available? Keep your eyes out. Follow Limitless Lithium on Facebook. I'm sure there'll be updates coming. But for now, you see the tests, you see how they perform. I'm pretty happy with how they did. Plenty of power, even dropping a super low voltage out of this SCV 7500. This amplifier did great for us today. Our excess power products did great for us today. All our terminals, all our fittings, everything from Jim's Machine Works did great for us. So that's it, wrapping it up. Remember guys, if you like what we're doing here on the channel, make sure and click that thumbs up button, give us a like, subscribe, share this with your friends, let us know how you feel in the comments, and until next time, we'll see y'all then.